Okay. Elasticity is an important economic measure, particularly for the sellers of goods or services, because it indicates how much of a good or service buyers consume when the goods own price of related goods, income, and other variables changes. Okay, so remember these elasticities is how quantity demanded or supplied is affected by different variables: price of the good, the price of a related good, and income. Okay. So suppose the demand function for good A is given by, so now this is a multivariable demand function, meaning quantity demanded is affected by other things apart from the price of the good. So this is how you interpret this demand function. This quantity demanded is dependent on the price of the good, it's dependent on the income, and it's dependent on the price of another good, good B. Okay. The quantity demanded is dependent on its own price, the income, and the price of another good. These three factors affect the quantity demanded for good A. Okay. If we look at the symbols here, the symbols can tell us a lot of things here. Okay. From the symbols, you can interpret this demand function. If you look at the relationship between the demand for good A and the price of good A, holding these other factors constant, you have seen there's a minus sign here, which tells us if the price of good A goes up, the quantity demanded of good A will go down. Why? Because of this minus sign here. Okay, law of demand. Inverse relationship between the price of a good and the quantity demanded. So because of this minus sign, the price of good A goes up, quantity demanded of good A goes down. If we look at the relationship for the quantity demanded for good A and the income here, holding other factors constant, we can see there is a plus sign here, meaning if the income goes up, the quantity demanded for good A is going to go up. If the income goes down, the quantity demanded for good A goes also down. Because of this plus sign here, okay, and we're able to tell if this is a normal good or an inferior good, okay, without even doing calculations for the income elasticity of demand, okay, without even calculating the income elasticity of demand. This plus sign just tells you that this good is a normal good, meaning if your income increases, you'll buy more of that good. If your income drops, you'll buy less of this good, just because of this plus sign. Okay, income elasticity of demand just shows how quantity demanded for a good responds to changes in income. So income elasticity of demand deals with normal and inferior goods. A normal good, when your income increases, you buy more of it. For example, mini meal, or let's say tea, coffee. If your income increases, you buy more of these things. If it was a minus sign, not a plus sign, if it was a minus sign, then it's an inferior good, which means when your income increases, you stop buying that good. Perfect example, kachas. Kachas is a good inferior good. If your income increases, you stop buying cachaso and you buy other alcohol. You start buying mosilaga and the rest. Okay. But if your income goes down, you go back to the cachaso. Okay. So these signs in front of the numbers can tell you the relationship already without even doing any calculations. Then here, if we look at the relationship between the quantity demanded of good A and the price of good B, holding these other factors constant. We have a plus sign here also, meaning if the price of good B goes up, the quantity demanded for good A is also going to go up. If the price of good B goes down, quantity demanded for good A goes up. This is because of this plus sign. So even without calculating the cross price elasticity of demand, how quantity demanded of good A responds to changes in price of good B. Even without calculating, we can tell because of this positive sign, good A and B are substitute goods. Because of this positive sign, if the price of good B goes up, it means good B is expensive in relation to, is more expensive to A. Okay. So if the price of good B goes up, people stop buying good B and they substitute it with good A. That's why the quantity demanded for good A is rising. If the price of good B goes down, it means good B is cheaper than good A. So people start buying more of good B and the quantity demanded of good A will drop. So remember this, colleagues. If the sign is positive for income, the sign is income elasticity of demand, YED, positive sign, no more good. Negative sign, inferior good. For cross price elasticity of demand, positive sign, substitute goods. Negative sign, complementary goods. Okay. Even before you do any solving, you should be able to interpret this. Okay, you should be able to interpret. Yes. So they have told us PA is the goods on price, I is income, and PB is the price of a related good to A. Suppose you're given PA equals 10, I equals 700, and PB equals 21. Find the quantity demanded at the given prices of goods and individual income. So that these values just means substitute them in the demand function. Okay. So let's substitute into the demand function so that we find what is our quantity demanded. Well, and this 520 just represents if the price of good A is 0, income is 0, and the price of good B is 0, then how much of good A will be produced, will be demanded. That's what that 520 is. So when it's a 520 minus 20, PA is mm, PA is 10 plus 0.6 income is 700 plus 2.9 2.9, then we substitute PB with 21. PB with 21. Okay, so let us solve. Equals 520 minus 20 times 10, 200 plus 0.76 times 700 or 0.6 times 700, 420 plus 2.9 times 21, 60.9. So you're going to say 520 minus 200 plus 420 plus 60.9. We're going to get 800.9 units demanded. 800.9 units. So, yes. Any questions? Okay. So I'm going to show you how we calculate all the elasticities of demand for this question. Okay, so that using calculus. So let's uh-huh. Huh? Here's the question. I can get you, madam. Mm-hmm. Or you can't see the workings. Are the others able to see the workings? Madam, kindly log out and log in. Kindly log out and log in. Okay. Show and indicate whether the related good is substitutable or complementary. So just from the thing, the sign here, okay, you would say that you look at PB. You say since it's got a positive coefficient, this positive 2.9. But the main thing, since this is a positive value, these goods are substitute goods. Because of this plus sign, the goods are substitute goods. Okay, because of the plus sign. But I want to show you how you can also calculate the cross price elasticity of demand to determine. So remember, cross price elasticity of demand is how quantity demanded of good A responds or changes in price of good B. Cross price elasticity of demand determines if a good is substitute or a complementary good. So you are going to derive the demand function with respect to PB, okay, multiplied by PB over QA. Okay, QA is this 800.9. QA is 800.9. Okay, yes. So we already have PB, price of good B is 21 kwacha. We already have QA, 800.9. So what we need to do is derive this demand function with respect to PB. So what is being said in simple terms is if a number doesn't have a PB with it, it disappears. Okay? Because you are deriving with respect to PB. So a number without PB disappears. 0.6 I plus 2.9 PB. We're deriving with respect to PB. Okay? So when we derive this function, this goes, this goes, this goes. We're only deriving 2.9 PB. So it's 2.9 PB to the power 1. Okay, so when you derive, you multiply the power times the number in front of the power. I'm going to say 1 times 2.9, you get 2.9. You subtract a 1 from this power here, it becomes PB to the power 0. Okay, and as I said, anything to the power 0 disappears. It's because it represents 1. Okay, so when we derive the demand function with respect to PB, you're going to get 2.9. Okay, so the cross price elasticity of demand is going to be 2.9 multiplied by the price of good B, 21, over quantity demanded, 800.9. Okay, so you're going to say 21 divided by 800.9, you get 0.026. 0.026 multiplied by 2.9, you're going to get 0.076. 0.076. So colleagues, since this answer is positive, since it's a positive answer, so the goods are substitutes, because the cross price elasticity of demand is positive. So the goods are substitute goods, meaning if the price of good B goes up, quantity demanded of good A is going to go up because people are switching, substituting good B with good A. That's why the quantity demanded of good A is increasing. Any questions before we go to income elasticity of demand? Okay. Income elasticity of demand. How quantity demanded of a good responds to changes in income. Okay. So income elasticity of demand is YED. A positive income elasticity of demand, no more goods. Your income increases, you buy more of that good. Your income drops, you buy less of that good. That's a positive income elasticity of demand. A negative income elasticity of demand, inferior goods, meaning your income increases, you buy less of that good. Okay, your income drops, you buy more of that good. So for income elasticity of demand, yeah, deriving the demand function with respect to I, income. Meaning if a number doesn't have an I, it will disappear. Okay, colleagues, that's what we just mean here. If a number doesn't have an I, it disappears. Okay, so let me just go to, let me use this one here. Okay. Oh, let me just finish putting out the formula before I derive. So you're deriving the demand function with respect to I, income. So if a number doesn't have I, just cancel it out. Multiplied by I, which is the income, over QA. Okay, this is the formula. So we already have I. I is 700 here. We already have QA. QA is 800.9 here. So we just need to derive. So this deriving we're doing here, we're going to be looking at it also in mathematical analysis. Okay. But there I want to be doing partial differentiation. Okay. Yes. So here we have I to the power 1. We're deriving this function with respect to I, meaning if a number doesn't have an I, it disappears. So you multiply the exponent times the number in front of the letter. 1 times 0.6, you get 0.6. 1 minus 1, that is 0. Okay, so when we derive our demand function with respect to I, we get 0.6. So colleagues, one trick you can use so that you're not getting intimidated or confused. Whenever you're just doing these derivings, have you noticed our answers are just the number without the letter. Remember when we derive with respect to PB, we just got 2.9. When we derive with respect to I, we've just got 0.6. Okay. So one shortcut you can think of is just remove the letter. That's all. Okay. Yes. So here this is our derivative of the when we derived the demand function was 0.6 multiplied by income of 700 over demand of 800.9. Okay. So this will be a positive number. Okay, and as I said earlier on, a positive number means you're dealing with a normal good. Okay, so 0.874. When you divide 700 by 800.9, 0.874 multiplied by 0.6 gets 0.52. So since it is positive, a positive number, so the good is a normal good. Okay. Yes. So for cross price elasticity of demand and income elasticity of demand, the signs will give you what they will tell you the type of how to interpret. Okay, colleagues. So that's how you do this question here. So good A is a normal good.